The stage is set for the big battle of Nandigram. Today, Mamata Banerjee returned to her Karma Bhumi, where she declared that she is a devout Hindu. She recited the Durga part, chanted a Shiv mantra, and even visited multiple temples in the area. Just a few weeks ago at the India Today Conclave East, Didi had said that she did not believe in the politics of religion. What then has led her to flaunt her Hinduism on her sari? Palami Saha with this story.
Om Sarvamangala Mangalle Shive Sarvata Sadike Saranye Tambake Gauri Nara Namostute
Durga's Chandi part.
Shakti Bhute Sanatoni Gunasroy Gunomoi Narayani Namostute.
A mantra for Lord Shiva. In Nandigram, Mamata Banerjee flaunted her Hindu credentials to the T.
যারা হিন্দু মুসলমান করছেন তাদের আমি পরিষ্কার বলি শুনে রাখুন আমিও হিন্দু ঘরের মেয়ে আমার সাথে হিন্দু কার্ড খেলতে যাবেন না আমার সাথে হিন্দু কার্ড খেলতে গেলে আগে বলুন আপনি নিজে ভালো হিন্দু কিনা
Mamata's return to her Karma Bhumi day before she files her nomination was high on Hindu symbolism. She visited 2 temples and even declared that she will be performing a puja and releasing her party's manifesto on Mahashivratri.
আর আগামীকাল আপনাদের আশীর্বাদ ভালোবাসা শুভেচ্ছা নিয়ে আমি হলদিয়াতে আমি নমিনেশন জমা দিতে যাব কারণ ওই দিন শিব চতুর্দশীর দিন আমাদের ম্যানিফেস্টো প্রচার আছে ম্যানিফেস্টোটা আমাদের ওই দিন বেরোবে
The BJP though is unimpressed by Mamata's Hindu declaration.
It's also good to see that she's discovering her Hindu roots and antecedents, but I guess it's too late for her because the kind of apartheid that the majority Hindu community faced under her regime is something that she will not be able to wash away so easily.
चलिए आज तो कम से कम बीजेपी के चलते ममता बनर्जी हिंदू हैं ये बोलने का समय आया उनको उन्होंने समझा या बोला कि मैं हिंदू हूँ अभी तक तो वो नमाज पढ़ती थी हिजाब लगा के
14 years after declaring war against the left, Mamata Banerjee returned to Nandigram, but there was one big difference. Then her trusted confidant Shuvendu Adhikari was with her. Now Shuvendu is fighting against her.
আমি নাকি বাইরের লোক আমি বাংলার লোক বাইরের লোক হয়ে গেলাম ভাই আর তুমি দিল্লির লোক বাইরের লোক হলে না তোমার বাড়ি মিদনাপুরে আমার বাড়ি বীরভূমে তফাৎ তো এইটুকু
Mamata will be camping in Nandigram in the lead up to the toughest election battle of her life. She has even rented a house there, but her message to the people of the town is clear.
জয় বাংলা জয় নন্দীগ্রাম জয় নন্দীগ্রাম এখানে ভোট আছে 1 এপ্রিল তাই তো ওদের এপ্রিল ফুল করে দেবেন টাকা দিলে টাকাটা কি করতে হয় আপনারা জানেন কিন্তু ভোটের বাক্সে এপ্রিল ফুল করে দেবেন
The countdown to the Battle of Nandigram has truly begun.
West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has blown the poll bugle for her campaign from Nandigram. In one of her fiercest attacks against the Bharatiya Janata Party, Mamata Banerjee declared that she is no outsider to Nandigram and dared the BJP against using the Hindu card with her. With that, the stage is set for one of the most high-stakes contests in battleground Bengal. With camera person Probir Biswas, Palami Saha from Nandigram for India Today.
Mamata Banerjee takes a public Hindu turn. Is this a change of stance for a chief minister and a party that is accused of minority appeasement? Also, will Bengal now be a battle for who's the bigger Hindu? Is this now Mamata Banerjee coming on the BJP's turf, fighting a battle the BJP would like her to fight? Or is she just neutralizing the advantage the BJP they thought they had amongst Hindu voters? To talk about the impact of Mamata Banerjee publicly reciting the Chandi part, saying that she does this every day, and how this could shape one of the most exciting, hard-fought, high-voltage election campaigns we've seen in this country over the last several years. I'm joined on this broadcast representing the ruling Trinamool Congress in West Bengal, its spokesperson Riju Datta. Squaring off against him, representing the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party at the centre, Dr. Sambit Patra. Rahul Verma joins us from the Centre of Policy Research. He's been researching very closely the factors at play in the West Bengal elections and the impact Mamata Banerjee taking a publicly Hindutva turn could have. And last but not least, Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, he's written books on Prime Minister Narendra Modi, comes from West Bengal, understands the politics of the area. I want to go across to Sambit Patra to set up the context for this debate, because as you see, and she did a pretty decent job, so it's not as if she learnt it last night and came out and chanted the mantras today. This is something that Mamata Banerjee says she's always been doing. She claims she does this every single morning. Does Mamata Banerjee's Hindutva turn or Hindu turn neutralize or blunt the advantage that the BJP thought they could have amongst the state's Hindu voters? Let's get started. Dr. Patra.
Thanks, Rahul. And in fact, to your question, my answer would be, since we already have a case study in the Indian political scenario exactly of the same instance, I don't believe we have to do a lot of studying over here. Remember, we almost have a deja vu kind of situation. The only thing is, here we have Didi, and in 2019 election we had Rahul Dada. And remember, Rahul suddenly proclaimed that I'm not an ordinary Hindu, I am a Janeudhari Hindu. And the temple hopping that Rahul and some of his Congress proteges, including Priyanka Vadra, performed, what was the outcome? Because people know who are the appeasers. People know who in fact have been into Hindu bashing for all these years. People know for all these years which are the political parties which did not want the construction of the Bhavya Ram temple. People know who in fact appeased against the Hindu religion and did not want development of Hindu religion, discriminated against Hindus. People in Bengal know who is the leader who did not want the Visarjan of Durga Puja to take place for 2 consecutive years, and in fact she was biased against Durga Puja in favor of Muharram. And in fact, she was reprimanded by the High Court of Calcutta on 2 occasions. People also know who was the leader who did not give permission for Ram Janmabhoomi, Ram Leela's Julus, and people had to move to the court for the same. Same for the Saraswati Puja as well. So when you have all these as your history sheet, when you have all these as your at your backyard, so suddenly trying to become a Hindu overnight, I would say this is nothing but a fancy dress Hindu theme which does not sell or augur well with the Indian polity.
You're
People
calling this
know
a
their leaders
fancy
too
dress? You're saying she's doing a Rahul Dada. This is what Rahul Gandhi did when he claimed suddenly he's a Janeudhari Brahman. Riju Datta, it does seem that Mamata Banerjee is shaken and stirred by the BJP's pitch for the Hindu vote, and she's out to try and counter it and to show that she's also a Hindu. She's now having to bat and play on the BJP stuff. Riju Datta.
Firstly, Rahulji, I will tell you that are we radicalized so badly in this country that being a Hindu, to go to a temple or recite Hindu mantras, we need a certificate from BJP or RSS? I think not. And Mamata Banerjee, even long before BJP came into the foray of Bengal politics, has been practicing Kali Puja in her house. When she made Dakshineshwar Sky Walk, when she approved Kalighat Sky Walk, then was she not a Hindu? When she gave free land to ISKCON temple, was she not a Hindu? So why do we have to explain to ourselves whether we are Hindu or not? It is not that. The bottom line is, sir, the bottom line is very evident here. The bottom line is Mamata Banerjee has hit the ball out of the park in her first campaign for her own ticket in Nandigram. And because Nandigram, like your channel says, is her karma bhumi, and it was fantastically covered by your reporters who categorically said, within quotes, vintage Mamata. On this holy and pious occasion, she chanted Hindu mantras, she visited few temples, she visited a mazar also. So she is the definition of a secular party and a secular leader. Why is it so difficult for BJP to fathom that we are not a political representation of a particular religion? We are a secular party who believes in the development of people, inclusive politics of the minorities. And when you use the word appeasement, sir, yes, we appease. But we appease the poor, we appease the women in our state, we appease the farmers in our state, and we appease the middle class in our state, which are being decimated by petrol at 100 rupees, gas at 900 rupees, and the all-time high unemployment.
So I'm coming back to you. Rahul Verma, we saw Arvind Kejriwal play out a similar script where he stood up and started reciting the Hanuman Chalisa before the Delhi Assembly elections. That, apart from everything else he did, worked well for him because he went down to beat the BJP by a big margin. Now, the opinion polls, for what they are worth, at this moment seem to suggest that the TMC is still in front, even though the BJP is doing much better, even as it comes from a very small base. When Mamata Banerjee takes this public display of her Hinduness, How do you think this is likely to play out during this election? Is she now batting on BJP stuff? Or is she blunting it? Rahul?
What I think is happening in Indian politics is sort of, we are on a very slippery slope. Now, the public display of religiosity, which of course, or religious practices, which of course largely started with the BJP, post 2019, opposition parties are forced to respond to that narrative. I think Arvind Kejriwal, while trying to tackle the problem, basically there was CA NRC protest happening and other things were going on. Arvind Kejriwal thought that he's being sidelined on the Hindu issue, and that's why he tried to do certain of those things, as you mentioned, reciting Hanuman Chalisa. But I don't think that did any sort of got him extra votes. Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal had a much larger lead in terms of assembly elections in Delhi. Mamata, I think, is trying to do the same thing. In last 6 to 8 months, it seemed like BJP has gained the momentum and is going to challenge TMC on its own turf. There are charges of religious appeasement, and BJP leaders have been citing certain schemes which has been benefiting religious minorities in Bengal, and it seems like a Hindu anger against TMC, and Mamata is trying to basically calm that anger down. She knows that if religious polarization happens, if it becomes 30 versus 70 in Bengal, BJP will have a much easier time. So all she's trying to do is calm things down.
Okay, so when I was in Kolkata, one of the things I picked up, Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, which is crucial, is that in the Trinamool's calculations, Mamata Banerjee needs to win a majority of the minority vote and a minority of the majority vote. So she thinks she already has the minority vote in her bank, even though you've got the Indian Secular Front of Abbas Siddiqui trying to damage that, along with Asuddin Owaisi, who's setting up his own candidates possibly. But do you think by publicly wearing her Hinduness, as it were, this helps blunt the BJP's advantage, or does it play in the BJP's favor? Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay.
Thanks, Rahul. First of all, when I heard Mamata Banerjee start reciting the Chandi part, my first reaction was that the BJP has finally been able to force Mamata Banerjee into embracing and publicly displaying her Hinduness or her Hindu, identity. That was my first reaction. In fact, my entire argument which was going on in my mind while I was listening to the speech was exactly what Dr. Patra said so eloquently. But after the speech was over, the researcher within me said, that let me sit and actually try to find out, and can I find any instances of Mamata Banerjee and Chandi Part, coming together from a public platform. What I found was that Mamata Banerjee, this is not the first time that she recited the Chandi Part on a public platform, even a public platform. I did not have sufficient time to actually find out how far back it goes. There are also limitations of the amount of videos which are there, but I did find references of her reciting the Chandi Part, way back in 2013 and even 2014. That is why, I watched those videos. Of course, she looked quite different in 2014. She did not have this kind of spectacles, heavy, which she wears now. Second thing is that, the Chandi Part is something which is more cultural than religious in the Bengali psyche. I'll tell you, I am a Probashi. I never lived in Bengal. But somehow or the other, whenever there is Chandi Part going on, I am also not very deeply ritualistic as far as my Hinduness goes, but at some cultural level, I do relate. And whenever I listen to a Chandi Part and I find it there across many other Probashis, suddenly you'll find that goose pimples all over the body. It's something, which comes very naturally because people of Bengal, and especially people who have lived there, even people like me, have actually grown up with it.
Okay, so here's the issue from the BJP's perspective, Dr. Patra, that you were trying to project Mamata Banerjee as a Hindu-hating woman, politician. She in fact says, no, that's not true. That's what the BJP is saying. I love Hindus and I'm as Hindu as anybody in the BJP. I can do the same mantras, I can do the same part puja, I do it every day, it's part of who I am, it's part of my identity. Now tell me, what does the BJP have to offer? So in that sense, your appeal to the Hindu identity of the Bengalis, is that being neutralized or blunted by Mamata Banerjee's public actions now?
Now remember, as far as the people's memories are concerned, they are not formed in a single night. They are not formed overnight. People's memory is an accumulation of bitter thought process, bitter experiences, which run over a long span of time. And people in Bengal have seen as to what has been done to them in the name of appeasement for all these years, number one. Number two, who says that we are the ones who are distributing the certificates for Hinduism? Rightly pointed out by the TMC spokesperson that why should we collect certificate from you, the BJP? Please don't collect certificate from us. But that's what Didi said in the stage today. On the stage, Didi declared that if you want to have competition about Hinduism, then I'm ready for the competition. Come, I throw the challenge. We never challenged you. We never wanted you to recite the mantra, but this is the guilt conscious within Didi. The realization that, well, yes, things are slipping under my feet. Things, in fact, are not the same that used to be. And I really need to come out and certify myself that, well, yes, I am also a Hindu. That's the reason as to why. This was nothing but a certification process. What else was it? It was a demand for certificate that, well, yes, look, I even can recite Chandi part. I also go to temple. I also know Krishna mantra, so I am also a Hindu. Remember, a Modi or an Amit Shah will never do this because of the fact that they know they don't need a certificate. They stood with the Ram temple, they stood with a movement throughout their life. They stood against appeasement throughout their life. That's why they don't need to prove. You need to prove only when you're not able to make a point.
You know, there's only one interview that Mamata Banerjee has done so far on the campaign trail. That was at the India Today Conclave East. I want to show you what Mamata Banerjee told me on the stage at the India Today Conclave East about this whole idea of the role of religion in politics and her view on the slogan of Jai Shri Ram. Here is West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee.
हर धर्म का अपन अपन का राय है, इसको हम इज्जत करते हैं, लेकिन हम जब फेस्टिवल करते हैं ये यूनिवर्सल होता है. रिलीजियन इज पर्सनल एंड फेस्टिवल इज यूनिवर्सल. तो इसी के लिए ये बात ठीक नहीं है. और जय श्री राम वो कहते हैं, हम तो जय सिया राम कहते हैं. जय सिया राम मीन्स सीता एंड राम. अब पहले तो देखो क्या कौन झूठा बोलता है, कौन सच बोलता है.
You know, as political temperatures soar in the state of West Bengal, new slogans, jingles and posters have caught the imagination of people and netas alike. Khela Hobe, or the game is on, is the slogan that Mamata Banerjee came out with and can be heard in every Trinamool rally. The Prime Minister countered that while he was in Kolkata, giving Mamata's slogan a new spin, Khela Shesh or Khel Khatam, the game is over. This is how the slogan war is playing itself out in West Bengal.
टीएमसी का खेला शेष, खेला खत्म.
Khela Hobe. This one phrase has caught the imagination of the Neta and the voter in Bengal. It is the pet slogan for TMC leaders challenging the BJP, with Mamata Banerjee leading the way. Just to sample a few occasions, the Bengal CM roared Khela Hobe while addressing a rally on International Women's Day in Kolkata on Monday. A day earlier, Mamata dared Prime Minister Narendra Modi for a one-on-one debate using the same catchphrase.
বাংলা নিয়ে ইলেকশনের আগে নরেন্দ্র মোদি তুমি 1-to-1 মমতা ব্যানার্জির সাথে করো 1-to-1 তুমি কত খেলতে পারো আর আমি কত খেলতে পারি দেখা যাবে খেলায় हम लड़ेंगे हम करेंगे हम जीतेंगे मोदी को हराएंगे भारत से हटाएंगे बीजेपी को हटाएंगे और जो हमसे टकराता है वो चुर हो जाता है।
And the BJP is replying in the same language. Holding his biggest rally in the state, Prime Minister Narendra Modi used Mamata's poll slogan to accuse her government of corruption.
ये लोग कह रहे हैं इस बार खेला होवे। ये लोग तो अनुभवी खिलाड़ी हैं, ये खूब खेलना जानते हैं, इन्होंने खूब खेला भी है। कितने ही घोटाले करके बंगाल के गरीबों को लूटा गया है, बंगाल की संपदा को लूटा गया है। आपने क्या बाकी छोड़ा है? आशोल परिवर्तन का मंत्र।
The Prime Minister also gave a new spin to the slogan, turning it to Khela Shesh, or game over for TMC.
अब ये नहीं चलेगा, अब ये खेल नहीं चलेगा। अब हर तरफ से एक ही आवाज है, टीएमसी का खेला शेष।
A crossfire of slogans, posters and jingles has brought new energy in battleground Bengal. The Khela Hobe slogan came close on the heels of TMC launching Bangla Nijer Make a Chai, or Bengal wants its own daughter slogan, adding to the shrill insider versus outsider debate. The BJP was quick to counter it with its own poster featuring women leaders of the party and captioning it, BJP wants its own daughter, not auntie. The Saffron Party also came up with Pishi Jao song, that means Bengal wants to get rid of Mamata. The song was inspired by famous 19th century Italian communist song Bella Ciao. Bureau Report, India Today.
You know, the one thing that you can't take away, Rahul Verma, is the fact that this is a very colourful election. Unlike the Congress party, which very often seems completely clueless, when the likes of Dr. Patra and the entire might of the BJP gun after them, they're running around like headless chicken, not knowing how to counter. Here, so Trinamool came up with Khela Hobe, the game is on. The Prime Minister came up with a very sharp counter. And now you've got the Trinamool coming back with a counter. So at least this is an exciting election from a political analyst perspective.
Oh, absolutely. Bengal, it seems, is mother of all electoral battles, at least in this season. Mamata, is, unlike, Rahul Gandhi and other Congress leaders you named, Mamata Banerjee is a street fighter. She fought against the left front regime for many, many years. And then she walked out of Congress in 1998, formed her own party. She took 10 to 15 years, and then Singur and Nandigram happened. So she's a street fighter. She's not going to give up easily. Even when BJP is basically sitting in Bengal in motion of siege, Mamata is coming up with new strategies and new ways to sort of counter that polarization or counter that BJP's...
So how is Dr. Patra, the BJP, looking at the battle that plays itself out? Usually, the BJP has a very strong ability to set the narrative. Here, you set a narrative to which there's a counter narrative. Mamata Banerjee responding every punch with a counter jab of her own. And you currently have a situation where opinion polls done by multiple agencies seem to suggest that even just a few weeks to go for phase one, at this moment, according to those polls for what it's worth, and these are not polls done by India Today, it's the Trinamool that's in front. So, hawa abhi aapki nahi bani puri tarah se Bengal mein. Why is that?
See, Rahul, first and foremost, remember, today Mamata Banerjee is countering a force in which, in fact, she was not even reckoning the last election. Remember, in 2016, we had only 10% of vote share and we won only 3 seats. We just opened our accounts in West Bengal. The previous assembly election in 2011, we could not even open an account and we had only a meager 4% of vote share. Before that, we had 2% of vote share. 2014 Lok Sabha election, despite the kind of whirlwind that we saw across India, we had only 17% of vote share in Bengal. Thereafter, in 2019, whooping more than 40% of vote share. So, in fact, this colossal run that the Bharatiya Janata Party has shown in Bengal is something that everyone, the opposition parties, is wary of. And that's why I would say, despite the fact that, yes, one or two opinion polls have come around, but remember, most of these opinion polls came to fore before even the campaigning of our party had struck ground, before even Mr. Modi had descended onto West Bengal, before the brigade ground happened. So remember, things are changing, and I'm sure what we had projected, more than 200 plus seats, is something which is not impossible.
Now that's the key thing. Even in Karnataka, we saw opinion polls suggesting the Congress was in the lead, and then towards the slog overs, Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, the BJP unleashed its entire might, especially the Prime Minister going out carpet bombing the state of Karnataka, and in the end, according to the Congress's own calculations, it's that last-minute blitzkrieg by the Prime Minister and the full BJP machine that helped the BJP come up on top, and they're hoping to do the same in West Bengal. It has worked in states like Gujarat, it's worked in states like Karnataka. Can the Prime Minister carry the BJP to victory on his shoulders in West Bengal as well?
I think the schedule has definitely come to the BJP's advantage, because after the 6th of April, when polling comes to an end everywhere in all the other states and the Union Territory of Pondicherry also, 5 phases of elections will be still remaining in West Bengal, and which is going to be a huge, almost about 200 odd seats, where the entire machinery, the entire leadership would be actually carpet bombing West Bengal. So it definitely is going to give the BJP a huge advantage of the machinery which it will deploy. How Mamata Banerjee, copes up with it, I'm sure that she's also a seasoned fighter. We have had several people talk about her street fighting ability. Anyone which could take out the left front when it was entrenched would also have learned as to how to protect the terrain. I'm not saying that is going to happen. It is actually possibly the biggest challenge which Mamata Banerjee is facing in her career. And I think she knows it better, because no one understands the sound coming from the ground better than Mamata Banerjee. If there is anyone who is actually a real ground to the, ears to the ground politician in entire Bengal, it is Mamata Banerjee. The BJP does not have any leader, any state leader who is actually so close to the people.
No, but that's true. But Riju Datta, the BJP has its entire machine and might. In the end, after the 6th of April, till the last phase of polling in West Bengal, the BJP will unleash its entire machinery all across. Now, to what extent can Didi in the end be the last woman standing? Because she'll be up against not just the Prime Minister, but all the chief ministers from all the states, all the ministers, the men, the machine, the money, all of it coming to West Bengal. Will the Trinamool be able to withstand the last-minute onslaught?
You asking me?
Yes.
They have been doing this from the day they have started campaigning. So what is new? And if their star campaigner and Modiji magic, so-called magic, would have worked in Bengal, then all their top brass should not have run to Mithun Chakravarti or Saurabh Ganguly. So obviously the Modi magic is not working in Bengal, because in Bengal, you believe it or not, Mamata Banerjee is a much larger persona than Narendra Modi ji. That is number one. And number two, you have to understand, Dr. Patra was talking about vote shares. So if you see 2014, 16, 19, coming into 21, Trinamool Congress has always maintained an average of 42+% vote share. So whatever the vote share they have got in the 2019 polls is because they have come from the Congress and CPM. So if Congress and CPM get their vote share back, then they are going to fall on their face. And lastly, answering Dr. Sambit Patra about Hindu certifications, let me remind the viewers and you that when he was personally campaigning for himself in Odisha, he was carrying Lord Jagannath with him everywhere. So is it that he was showing his certification as a Jagannath Bhakt or a Hindu Bhakt to the entire country? So these are the pertinent points that will come into play. And in Bengal,
Sambit Patra, you know what, the BJP may have the men, the machine, the money, the muscle, the ministers, the Prime Minister. What you don't have is a face in West Bengal. You tried to bring Saurabh Ganguly. that didn't go as per your plan. You know, you brought Mithun Chakravarti, who because he's jumped ship as often as he have from extreme left, Naxal body, to now being on the right, meeting Mohan Bhagwatji, you know, you don't have a face. And could that in the end, which is what hit you in Delhi, where you didn't have somebody to stand up against Arvind Kejriwal, could that be in the end analysis the BJP's Achilles heel in Bengal? Sambit Patra.
In fact, Rahul, similar questions were asked of us, the BJP spokespersons and other leaders during the Uttar Pradesh election, if you would remember. That look, we have stalwart leaders like Mayawati, you have stalwart leaders like and experienced leaders like Mulayam and Akhilesh. But who is your leader? I mean, we had ad nauseum debates on this. But we won an whooping 325 seats, and thereafter we gave in fact, a leader who became the chief minister, Mr. Yogi Adityanath, who is an exemplary leader now. Similar was the instance in Maharashtra. There was no projection of Mr. Fadnavis then. Similar was the case in Haryana, where we were asked, you know, as to who would be taking and squaring off Mr. Hooda, who is an experienced leader. But then we won. Remember, most of these elections are won because of policies, because of the failure of the previous government, and you project the face only after you win the election. So it does not matter. It does not matter whose face it is. It has to be the face of development, and people believe Modi ji, number one. Number two, remember, as far as these polls are concerned, opinion polls are concerned, I had missed one point. In Bengal, it is chup chap komal chap, meaning people keep their views close to their chests. They do not want to reveal it as yet because they know the situation, the law and order situation of West Bengal. Only today there was firing by the TMC Karyakartas on the BJP Karyakartas. So of course people have kept most of their wishes close to their chest.
Rahul Verma, I want you to build on this because I have heard from sources inside the Trinamool Congress that one of the X factors that they're apprehensive about is the fear factor. That when their own pollsters or these independent third-party pollsters go out, voters typically in a state where there's a strong government and a fear of retribution tend to say they'll vote for the sitting government because they don't know who this person is, where he's come from, and whether the Trinamool or any of its associates will later come after them. Is there a way of being able to quantify or understand the fear factor? Because the Trinamool is very concerned about it and they think that this could be one of the things that goes against them if the fear factor indeed turns out to be very high.
Absolutely true. You would remember, Rahul, that even Pradeep Gupta has been telling us for now some time that he has found polling in Bengal very, very difficult. So given the political climate of Bengal, 2-3 things are very important. One, political change in Bengal has always accompanied some sort of like violence. Even when left came in 1970s or when Mamata came in 2011, and the new change, which might or might not happen, will have some sort of like, violent intentions on the ground. So that is true. Second, and as Sambit Patraji also pointed out, that for some time in 2019, the campaign had two elements. One was Chup Chap Kamal Chap, and the second one was Unni se half or Ikki se saaf. So people who are on the ground do report that Bengali voters are not willing to come out in open and say who they are likely to vote. And the third factor, which everyone knows about, especially in 2018 Panchayat election and Panchayat elections before that, Bengal is one of the states where you see most number of uncontested seats, which means that, there are certain political parties and politicians who dominate elections in a way that you don't see any contest happening there. So there are, of course, methods to calculate fear factor, but given the paucity of data in our case, it's difficult.
No, but mark my words, fear factor is indeed a concern, and it's not just Sambit Patra saying it. Fear factor is a concern even amongst the think tank of the Trinamool Congress. They're concerned about the impact the fear factor could have on
Rahul, can I make one more point?
I'm out of time, but very quickly, 30 seconds, Rahul Verma, go for it.
Yeah, basically, Bengal has been described by scholars as party society. In a society where political parties have deep penetration, they even decide who people are marrying and who are taking part in functions. And this started in time of left, continued in time of Trinamool Congress. So given penetration of parties is so deep, people are going to be fearful before voting to tell any pollster or journalist who they
I
are.
hear what you're saying, but what we don't know is the quantification of that fear factor. Is it just, say, 1 in 100 voters, 2 in 100 voters, 10 in 100 voters, 1500 voters? Because the more it is, the bigger a game changer it can be, which is what makes this election so exciting. So many moving parts, so many things that can still change, which is why Sambit Patra and Riju Datta and their parties need to work very hard. While we bring you the best reportage, the best analysis, the most non-partisan coverage, they need to work hard. We'll just sit back and let them do their jobs as we do ours to bring you the best coverage of the West Bengal elections, and may the best woman or man win. Khela hobe or khela khatm is something that only the voters of Bengal have to decide. I'm slipping into a break. When we come back, we shift our attention to the state of war in Tamil Nadu.